stopped here in the last week. Begin about the root component.
دكتورة صوتك بعيد شوي.
Turn off your mics now. لما ابدا الشرح ان شاء الله رح يتحسن الصوت. في البدايه دائما يكون صوت ضعيف او بعيد.
تمام، يعطيك العافية دكتورة.
طيب سكر المايك. طيب. We will continue about the exponents. Exponents have certain rules that will should follow. Make a computation between the same base. Here I have a base B. I call it a base. It's a number. This is a number in R, a real number. Is the base, and the power or the exponent could be a number or any other variable. But here we will talk in general about numbers. First, if I have a base b to the power n, what's the meaning of this power? The meaning of this power is that b is multiplied n time by itself. The same number is multiplied n times. I write it like that. B multiplied by b, n times b to the power n with the same base. For example, if I have 5 as a number, if I multiplied 5 3 times like this, 1, 2, 3 times by itself, I write it like this, 5 to the power 3. Okay? Here I'm talking about n as an integer, real or integer, positive integer. Here n is greater than or maybe equal to 0, positive. Okay, but if n is a rational number like that, 1 over n, if I take the power of any number to a rational number, 1 over n, that means a square root or any degree of root. This is n root of b, like that, n root of b. For example, if I have here 5 to the power third, the 3 in the denominator here means the degree of the root. Okay, also for example, if I have 5 to the power 1 over 7, this means the seventh root of 5, like this. Okay, this is the meaning of exponents here. Also, if I have a rational number in the exponent, but another number in the numerator, okay, the exponent is a number other than 1, for example m, and the denominator is n in the power of the base b, then of course this number is the square or the nth root of b, and this will be a regular power like this to the power 3. Or I can begin with the with this number, with this power inside, I can write it like this, b to the power 3, then the nth root of b. I can begin with the n in the root, then to the power m. Here m, not 3. Here to the power m, I begin with the power n, which is the nth root, then to the power n. Or I can begin with the exponent m, then the square root or the nth root, as in this case. For example, here, if I have 5 to the power 3 over 4, I can write it the fourth square of 5 to the power 3. So here I begin with the power 3 first, then the 4 in the denominator, or I take the root first, then to the power 3. Okay. Also, I have here a minus. This is the same case, but in minus. Any minus, for example, here b to minus 1, the minus here means that b is in the denominator. معناتها ان البي موجودة في المقام. Okay, any variable or any number powered to a negative sign means that it's in the denominator. Okay, it's a rational number like this. For example, here, if I have 5 like this to the minus 3 over 5 over 4, sorry, means the minus here makes 5 in the denominator like this. Okay, this is the minus. And 4 in the denominator here means that 5 under the fourth root. Of course, I have to put 1 in here. Okay, all to the power 3, but here, since I have 1, I will just make to the power 3 in the denominator. I can take the power 3 on all the rational number here. But it's enough in the denominator since I have 1, only 1. 1 to the power 3 is 1, so I don't have to write 1 to the power 3 here. Okay, for the addition operation, not addition, multiplication. The multiplication between two numbers with the same base. I have here b and b, the same base, but different exponent or different powers. If I have the same base, then I add the exponent. إذا تساوت الأساسات في عملية الضرب أجمع الأسس. For example, here, I have here 6 to the power third multiplied by 6 to the power 2 by 3. So I just write 6 as it is and add the exponent 1 over 3 plus 2 over 3 over 3. Of course, here I have the same denominator, so I just add or take the sum between the numerators 1 plus 3, 3 over 3. When I divide, it's 6 to the power 1 and it's equal to 6. Okay. For example, also another example, if I have 5 to the power 4 multiplied by 5 to the power minus 2. Regular integers, it's not necessary to be rational numbers. Yes, إذا ما تساوت المقامات، إذا ما تساوت المقامات اللي عندي هنا لازم أوحد المقامات، ضروري أجري عملية الجمع. I must have the simplest answer as possible. Of course, here the same base. So I write 5 to the power 4 plus minus 2. So the answer here is 5 to the power 2. 5 squared, which is 25. This is the simplest answer. Also here, as I said, when I have a minus or negative sign in the exponent, so the whole number is in the denominator. إذا كانت عندي إشارة سالبة في الأس معناته أن العدد موجود أساسا في المقام. Like this, if I have here 4 to the power minus half, This means that 4 actually is in the denominator with the same exponent like this. And this is the rational exponent, so it's a square root. Okay, the 2 here in the denominator means the square root of 4, which is 1/2. Okay. Also here, the previous case was the multiplication. Now I have the division between two numbers with the same base, b to the power s, b to the power s, here to the power r, b to the power s. Since the bases are equals, then I take the subtraction between the powers. إذا تساوت الأساسات في عملية القسمة أطرح الأسس. For example, here 7 to the power 4/3, and here 7, the same base, to the power 1/3. So I write it like this: 7 to the power 4/3 minus the second exponent, which is 1/3. Here's the same denominator. نفس المقام، معناتها ما أحتاج أوحد المقامات. هيكون 3 4 minus 1, which is 7 to the power 3/3, which is 7 to the power 1 is 7. Okay. Now b to the power s, I have any number, for example 4 square, all power to another number, which is, for example, here s. If I write, for example, minus 3, then I just multiply the two exponent. Okay, power to the power, I just multiply the exponents. So here 2 multiplied to minus 3, which is 4 to the power minus 6. If I want to simplify to the simplest case, so since I have here a negative sign, so 4 is in the denominator like this, okay, to the power 6. Then I compute this number 4 to the power 6 and write the answer. You can compute it by yourself or by the calculator. Okay, when I have two numbers multiplied together like this, a multiplied by b, different bases to the same power, so I just distribute the power between them. Okay, for example, if I have two variable x multiplied by y all to the power 3, so it's equal to x to the power 3 multiplied by y to the power 3. This is so useful in computation or simplification. For example, if I have 3x all square, so it will be 3 square x square, which is 9x square, like this. Okay, also it could be just numbers. For example, here I have 125 multiplied by 27 all to the power third. So I distribute the third on the first number and on the second number. Here the first number, and this is the second number after distribution. The third root of 125 is 5. Since 5 multiplied by itself 3 times 125. And the third root of 27 is 3. Then I take the multiplication to simplify. It will be 15. Okay, the same thing for the division. If I divide two numbers like that, 3, for example, over 6, all to the power, for example, square, it will be 3 square over x square, 9 over x square, like this. Or it could be just numbers. I have 4 to the power 10 to the power 4 and 5 to the power 4. Okay, it will be the same. Of course, here is the converse. He began with the distributed powers. 10 divided by 5, it will be 2 to the power 4, it will be 16. Okay. The main the main goal actually here is to simplify. أكثر شيء هنا أستفيد منه في هذه العمليات هي التبسيط. Okay? Exactly like this example. In this example, the question is simplify. The question actually used the laws of exponents that we just discussed to simplify the algebraic expression. Okay? All what I have to do is to simplify using the rules that we discussed. So, here, I begin with the denominator here, the numerator, sorry. Here, I have the power 2 over 3 as a rational number. Here, the power is square here, and the 3 in the denominator here means the third square root of the number. I write it like this. The third square root of minus 27 to the power 5, x to the power 5, all square. Okay? Also here in the denominator, I can write it x to the power third. Okay, to simplify. We will complete here. Here, before take the square, I can distribute the square root between these two multiplication, these two multiplied number. So I take the third root of minus 27 multiplied by x to the power 5, of course, all square in the numerator. Okay, and here also the third root and x to the power third. Here I can now distribute the power 2 in these two numbers. So I have here minus. I can simplify this. It's minus. The third root of 27 is it 9? It's not 9. When you divide 27 by 3, it's 9. But the third root, yes, it's 3. Since when you multiply 3 by 3 by 3, it will be 27. So the third root of 27 is 3. It's minus 3. Since this root is with odd degree, 3 here is odd, I can actually extract the negative power. But if it's a negative side inside an even root, it will be undefined. اوكي هنا راح تكون معرفة لأن الجذر هنا عندي جذر فردي، لكن لو كان جذر فردي فالجذر غير معرف. جذر الأعداد السالبة للجذر الزوجي غير معرفة، بس هنا الجذر الثالث فردي فأقدر إني أطلع الإشارة السالبة بسهولة. Here I have x to the power 5 over 3, of course this square, don't forget the square, all to the power 2 divided by x to the power third. Okay, I complete here. Here I have minus 3 square will be 9, and here x to the power, I just multiply 5 over 3 multiplied by 2. So it will be x to the power 10 over 3 divided by x to the power third. It will be 9 to x multiplied by x. Here I have the same base, نفس الأساس, x and x. So it will be the same base and subtract the powers or the exponents. 10 by 3 minus 1 by 3. I have the same denominator here. Denominator x to the power 10 minus 1, it will be 9 over 3, which will be 9 multiplied by x to the power 3. This is the simplest answer. Okay, أبسطها لأبسط طريقة ممكنة بحيث أن ما يكون في أي حسابات أبسط أو حسابات أكثر. Okay, this is the simplest form. Okay, this is the same answer in the slide. Of course, you can begin with any operation that you feel that it's suitable for you or easier for you. Okay. Here you have more details beside each step. What's the rule that satisfied? Okay, now the final two examples. I still have two examples in this tutorial, first tutorial. Okay, this is an application. Consider a rectangular coral with two partitions. Okay, this is a rectangular coral. Okay, this is a rectangular coral, right? With two partitions. This is two partitions. Okay, assign letters to the outside dimensions of the coral. Write an equation. This is the first question. Assign letters to outside dimensions of the coral. Okay, so I will write, for example, here, this dimension will be x, okay, which is the length or width, as you like, and this, the second dimension, okay, from here to here, I will call it y. Okay, this dimension will be x and this dimension will be y. This is the first question. Then write an equation expressing the fact that the coral has a total of area 2,500 or 2,500 square feet. Okay, the area أقصد فيها المساحة. The area of this rectangle will be the width multiplied by the length. الطول ضرب العرض. Okay, the length multiplied by the width is 2,500. Okay, this is the second answer. Okay, this is first and this is second. We finish it. Then the third question, write an expression for the amount of fencing needed to construct the coral, including both partition. Okay, I want to put a fencing اللي هو سياج أو إطار. Okay, needed to construct the coral. Okay, I want to put a fencing around all this area, including the two partitions. Okay, if I want to put a fencing, I want actually to put it on the perimeter. Do you know what's the perimeter? Perimeter اللي هو المحيط. Okay. Okay, the perimeter of the rectangle is 2 multiplied by x plus y for any rectangle. But here I also need these two partitions. Okay, so I have to put my own rule for this perimeter. Okay, here if this is x, then this is also x, and this is also x, and of course this is x, and this is y, this is also y. So the perimeter is the sum of all these lengths. Okay, so here this is in general 2 multiplied by x plus y. The perimeter here will be y plus y, which is the length here, y plus y plus x plus x plus x plus x, x 4 times. So x plus x plus x plus x. It will be 2y plus 4x. This will be the perimeter or the needed fencing. Okay. متأخر البث. اوكي، سمعتوني وانا اشرح هذا الاكزامبل ولا لا؟ اوكي. طيب يمكن اللي يطلع عنده الشاشة متأخرة شوي يكون عنده مشكلة بالاتصال، ولا الكل عنده هذه المشكلة؟ طيب في البعض عنده كويس. طيب راح أكمل. I will complete only this example. This is the example that we just solved. This is the final example, the final one, and we will finish this lecture. Then I will reset the recording, another recording for a new lecture which is derivative. Okay. راح أعيد الدخول مرة ثانية، يمكن يتعدل الوضع شوي، بس راح أكمل هذا الإكزامبل عشان ما ينقطع الريكوردينج على نفس الليكتشر. Okay. The last example here, assign letters, the same question here. I have here a cube, assign letters. آخر نقطة حق F, which one? Here the fencing, F is the fencing. Okay, راح أقولها لكم بالعربي. هنا عندي مساحة مستطيلة مقسمة إلى ب two partitions. استخدموا هنا تقسيمين لتقسيم هذه المساحة، فصار عندي هنا 3 مستطيلات. المطلوب حساب أو وضع قاعدة لحساب المحيط اللازم أو طول السياج اللازم لإحاطة هذه المساحة. فاللي أحتاجه هو y زائد y زائد x زائد x زائد x زائد x. أجمع فقط الأطوال مع بعض، هذا بس المطلوب، أني أوجد القانون اللي يعطيني طول الفنسنج. فكانت الطريقة بس أني أجمع كل هذه الفاريبلز مع بعض وأبسطها 4x plus 2y or 2y plus 4x as we said. Here he take the notation F for the fencing. The last one is the same actually, but here in the about the cube. Okay, assign letters to the dimensions of the geometric box. I have here box, and then determine an expression representing the volume. Okay, volume اللي هو الحجم. Okay, dimensions. Now I want to assign letters for the dimensions, then write expression for the volume and the surface area. Volume and the surface. So here I have to find the volume and the surface, المساحة السطحية surface of the open top box. Notice here, when I find the surface, not all the faces here for the box it's included. It will be open top boxes. So this top will not be there. Okay, it's open box, صندوق مفتوح. First, I will assign letters here for the for here. I will take this dimension as x and this dimension as y, and for the height, I will call it z. Okay, corresponding to the axis. Okay, I will use the same axis. Okay, okay, we said that it will be open box, so this will be open. There's no lid in here or no face. So first, for the volume, it's V. It will be the length multiplied by the width multiplied by the height. Okay, مش نجمعها نضربها في الفوليوم والمultiplied x multiplied by y multiplied by z. This is the volume. But on the surface, surface. I will denote it by S. This is the surface اللي هي المساحة السطحية في الحجوم أسميها surface. Okay. Then I will add the area of all the faces of this box except the top one. So, okay, if I number these faces, I will call this 1. This is 2. The bottom one here, 2. This is 3, 4, and the one in the face here will be 5. Okay, okay. The right one here is 1. The number 1 will be x. Oh, sorry, here z multiplied by y. Number 2, which is the bottom will be x multiplied by y. This is area. Okay, this is area. Now for 3, this is a 3. It will be the same as 1. Okay, which is the left. This is the right. This is the left, which is a 3. It will be the same, z multiplied by y. For the bottom, I made it. Okay, for the what we call it here, here number 5, which is here the face will be z multiplied by x, zx. Okay, I still have 4, which is here the back, which is 4. It will be z multiplied by x, also zx. Okay, so here I have zy. Okay, I add. Okay, then add. I have here 2zy plus. Also here I have zx and zx plus 2zx. Okay, I add this and this, then this and this. But xy, since I have only the bottom, the lid is not included, so only 1 plus xy. So this is actually the surface without a top, with open top. It will be xy plus 2zy plus 2zx. Okay, this is the rule or expression to calculate the surface area for the open box. Okay, this is the volume, as we said, x multiplied by y multiplied by x يعطيني الحجم. And this is, okay, this is left, this is right, here left, right, and the face, and the back, and the bottom, but not the top. I have open top, okay, without lid. Okay. Okay, this was the last example. Okay, I will stop the recording now. Just a moment. Okay, in the derivative, we'll discuss these main topics. Okay, we will find first the slope of a straight line. First, we will discuss the straight line like this. Then we will find the slope of a curve at a point using the straight line that we discussed first. We'll use this information to find the derivative, the definition of the derivative of a function. Okay. After that, we will use limits to find the rules of derivatives. We will define some rules of derivatives using limits. We'll talk more about the derivative. Then we'll take an application on the derivative, which is the rate of change. This is the most important application on the derivative, which is the rate of change. Okay? First, we will begin with non-vertical lines. Of course, we said that the line is a function when it's not vertical. Okay, we'll here talk only about the functions. Non-vertical, so it could be with a slope like this or like that. This I call it increasing, this is decreasing, or horizontal. It's okay to be horizontal, but not vertical, okay? An equation of non-vertical line is y equals to m multiplied by x plus b. This is the general equation of a line. M here, I call it the slope. Slope, okay? Slope of a line. M أسميها الميل للخط المستقيم. And B here is a constant, الحد الثابت, and I call it y-intercept. Y-intercept. Here's y-intercept. Okay, y-intercept. Y-intercept means the place that the line, here for example, I have here the y-axis, in this point will be the point B. Okay, okay, this coordinate I called it y-intercept أو بمعنى المقطع الصادي. The meaning of B here in the line meaning the y-intercept المكان الذي يقطع فيه المستقيم المحور الصادي المقطع الصادي. Okay, this is y-intercept, which is here the point 0B exactly. Okay. For example here, if I have this equation y equals to 3x minus 4, y 3x minus 4, 3 is the slope, m equals to 3 is the slope. I call it the slope and it's positive. There's a meaning of the sign here, okay? If it's positive, means that the line increases like that, okay? But if it's negative, I have here, for example, minus 3, the line will be decreases like this, okay? I begin here from the left to right. If it's go up, it's increasing. If it's go down, it's decreasing. Okay, إما تزايدية لما يكون الميل موجب أو تناقصية لما يكون الميل سالب. Okay, and the y-intercept, the intersection with y-axis is minus 4. So here, I have, for example, here, minus 4 in here. This is minus 4 in the y-axis. The line will intersect here, okay? I can find another point from this equation and draw a graph for a line. For example, when I have x equals 1, this is example. Suppose that x equals 1, then y equals 2, 3 minus 4, which is also not 1, it's minus 1. So a point 1 minus 1 is a point. This is 1 minus 1, a point. This is another point, so I can draw a line like that. And أرسم اللاين. This is how to sketch a graph of a line, okay? This one is ready. I already have this intercept, the intersection with y-axis. So I only need one more point. I can take any arbitrary value for x and substitute in the equation and find the y value. And this is the point. Okay, how to sketch a graph for a line by this way. I need 2 points. I already have the y-intercept. So I need one more point. I can use any value of x. You can also use no, x equals 0 will be the y-intercept. So I, for example, begin always with x equal to 1 or any other value. But the easiest one, أسهل قيمة ممكن تفترضوها هي x تساوي 1. عشان أرسم الخط المستقيم أحتاج إلى نقطتين. already أنا عندي هنا نقطة جاهزة اللي هي نقطة التقاطع مع الصادات، مع المحور الصادي. أحددها. أحتاج نقطة ثانية. من وين أجيبها؟ أفرض نقطة ثانية. أحتاج نقطة ثانية. أفرض مثلا أي قيمة للإكس. أسهل قيمة ممكن أعوض فيها هي إكس تساوي 1. أوكي؟ لأن هذه اللي هي السالب 4 هي قيمة الواي عند الإكس تساوي 0. معناتها أحتاج قيمة غير الصفر. أسهل قيمة هي الإكس تساوي 1. طلعت لي إن الواي تساوي السالب 1. هذه هي النقطة. أوصل بين النقطتين وأمد الخط المستقيم من الجهتين أحصل على السكتش لهذا المستقيم. Okay. This is another example. For example, if I have this equation 2x minus 1. Here I have the slope is 2, which is positive. So the line will be increasing. إذا كان الميل موجب معناته الخط راح يكون تزايدي بهذا الاتجاه. Okay, دالة تزايدية. Also here, all the slope here are 2. All the slopes are 2, so all the line will be increasing. The difference here in the y-intercept. Okay, the y-intercept here in -1. The y-intercept here is 0. There is no here constant term, so the y-intercept is 0. It will be at the origin, 0, 0. The y-intercept here is +1, so it will intersect with y-axis at this point. Okay. Notice here that all these lines have the same slope. Okay. Here m equals 2, m equals 2, and here m equals 2. The same slopes mean that all lines will be parallel. Parallel معناتها متوازية. Parallel. Okay. متوازية. لما تكون عندي الميول متساوية معناتها أن الخطوط تكون متوازية. Okay. We'll discuss this property in details later. Okay, this is the opposite. When I have a negative slope. Okay, negative slope, so the line will be decreasing to the down. Okay, from left to right, it will be going down. Also here I have -2, -2. All the line are parallel, متوازية. The y-intercept here is -1. This is the intersection with y-axis. Also here, the y-intercept here is 0. So it will intersect at the origin. And here y-intercept is -1 +1. So this will be the y-intercept. Okay. Okay, this is an example. It's actually an application in business. The question here, a salesperson's weekly pay depends on the volume of sales. If she sells X units of goods, then her pay is given by this equation. Y equals to 5X plus $60. This equation gives me the payment of this person, the salesperson. Okay, weekly payment. هذه المعادلة الخطية تعطيني قيمة المدفوعات للسيلز بيرسون، المدفوعات الأسبوعية. And it depends on the volume of sales. تعتمد على حجم المبيعات. كل ما زاد حجم المبيعات زادت البيمنت. Give an interpretation. Interpretation معناتها تفسير, explanation of the slope and the y-intercept. Okay. I have to put interpretation. of the slope and the y-intercept for this straight line. Okay, notice here in this chart, I have here in the y-axis the number of sales in here, okay? And here the payment in the y-axis. Okay, each increase in the volume of sales, notice here, each increasing in the y-axis, which is the volume of sales, increase the payment. كل ما زادت المبيعات زاد ارتفع الخط إلى الأعلى، معناتها زاد قيمة المدفوعات، زاد الراتب. So here the slope here 5, I can write it 5 or 5 over 1. 5, which is actually 5 over 1 here for each change in x. This is the change in x. It will be change in y. Okay, so here the slope is actually the division between the change in y and the change in x. الميل هو عبارة عن حاصل قسمة فرق الصادات على فرق السينات. معناتها هنا the slope, I can interpret the slope is the change in the payment. Okay, هو بس كيف تفهموه، هو بس توضيح لمعنى الميل والمقطع الصادي في أي مسألة تطبيقية. الميل هو عبارة فقط عن مقدار التغير في السينات بالنسبة للتغير للصادات. دائما أضع الصادات في البسط والسينات في المقام. أوكي، والمقطع الصادي راح نناقش الحين. The y-intercept is 60 here, 60, and the y component here is 0. 0 is 0 of sales. So even if the sales will be 0, the payment will be 60. So the payment begin with 60. معناتها حتى لو ما كان في مبيعات، 60 هذه راح تكون ثابتة، راح يدفع 60 حتى لو كانت المبيعات 0. لو كانت المبيعات 30 it will be this at this point. okay, راح يكون البيمنت هنا. لو كانت المبيعات 80 the sales is 80, then this point in the chart or in the line the payment will be here. okay, قيمة البيمنت تعتمد على قيمة المبيعات. This is the interpretation. Okay, to know, to understand it more, 5 is the change in y divided by change in x. Y here is the payment and x is the volume of sales. Okay, now for the properties of the slope, we will use this property actually to find another definition including the derivative. راح نستخدم هذه الخصائص لإيجاد تعريفات ثانية للسلوب، تطبيقات أكثر على السلوب ومن ضمنها المشتقات. The first property، الخاصية الأولى، suppose that we start at a point. We start at this point in the line, okay, and I have here y-axis and x-axis horizontal and y-axis vertical. If I move 1 unit to the right, the x-axis, I have to reach here, move m units to the top. okay, أي قيمة أو أي وحدة أتحركها من اليمين أو من اليسار، وحدة واحدة أتحرك m unit للأعلى أو للأسفل، طبعا حسب تزايد أو تناقص الخط. Okay, this is the first property. If I start here for the decreasing line, I move to the right 1 unit, I have to move to the bottom m unit. So here m, as I said in the previous example, is change in y divided by change in x. فرق الصادات على فرق السينات. أي فرق أوجده في الإكس يكون 1 مثلا، هنا 1. أي فرق 1 أو وحدة واحدة أتحركها على السينات، أتحرك M للأعلى أو الأسفل على محور الصادات بهذه الطريقة. Okay. Also for the horizontal line, if I move from here to here 1 unit, okay, I will move to up or down M units. M units here, M will be 0 for the horizontal line. This is a special case. في الخط الأفقي دائما يكون الM يساوي 0. هنا بما أني مشيت في خط أفقي معناتها لا تحركت لا إلى الأسفل ولا إلى الأعلى، معناتها الM تساوي 0. Change in Y is 0. Okay. The second property, okay, if I have here, for example, this line، أيوة فرق الصادات دائما على فرق السينات. لا ضروري إن الصادات تكون في الأعلى. ليش؟ For the horizontal line, when I said M equals to 0 as a special case, okay, M could be 0. Dividing by 0, M will be in the denominator، راح تكون قسمة على الصفر، هذا غير معرفة، فدائما تكون الصادات في البسط، عشان لو كانت عندي هذه الحالة اللي تكون فيها تساوي 0 تكون معرفة. اوكي، ضروري انه يكون الصادات Y change in Y in the numerator في البسط، والإكسات اللي هي الفرق السينات تكون في المقام. فرق الصادات على فرق السينات تساوي الميل، هذه قاعدة ثابتة. Okay, the same here, but in more general case, if I have here in this line, this is the first point and this is the second point. The X component for the first point is X1 and the second component here is X2. The space here between these 2 points will be the difference between X2 minus X1. I write X2 first since I'm moving here, so this is greater than X1. Okay, أطرح العدد الأكبر من العدد الأصغر. Always begin with X2. X2 minus X1, find this space. Okay. Also for the Y-axis, the Y component here is Y1 and the Y component here is Y2. To find this distance, it will be Y2, the greater number, minus Y1. Okay? When I move 1 unit here, my unit here is X2 minus X1, I have to move the same difference here by the slope Y2 minus Y1 in the Y-axis. So the slope will be the change in Y, Y2 minus Y1, divided by the change in X, X2 minus X1. Okay? Actually, this rule always be used to find the slope. If I asked you to find the slope, you have using 2 points, you use this formula. إذا كان السؤال هو إيجاد الميل باستخدام نقطتين، دائما أستخدم هذه القاعدة أو هذه الصيغة. فرق الصادات على فرق السينات للنقاط المعطاة. دائما تكون عندي نقطتين X1 Y1 X component and Y component for the first one، والنقطة الثانية تكون X2 Y2 for the second point. To find the slope, which is M, I find the change, okay, the rate of change between the Y-axis and the X-axis. Y2 minus Y1 is the change in Y, and X2 minus X1 is the change in X. Okay, this is the formula. Finding the slope using 2 points. Okay. Also using the same formula, I can actually use or find the equation of the line. Okay, using the slope, I have the slope M and point x1, y1. This one or this information actually given. Using this information, I can use it to find equation of line. Okay, equation of line or the linear function, straight line. So I use the same formula, which is m equals to the change in y, but here I don't write y2 minus y1. I only have 1 point and a slope. The slope here is known, is given. Y minus y1, this is variable, divided by x minus x1. Okay, remember, is to find the slope, I use y2 minus y1 and divided by x2 minus x1. This is finding the slope. This is how to find the slope using 2 points. Okay, if you find the slope, you can use the slope here. Okay, the same slope here and the same point here, one of them, the same point, and put y and x in general. This is variable unknown, and use this formula to find this equation. Okay, so here I use m equals to y minus y1, the change in y-axis, divided by x minus x1 equals to this formula. I just take here scissor and multiplied by the denominator equals to y minus y1. I can simplify it to y equals to m x minus x1 and move this to other side, so y plus y1. This will be the simplest form. اوكي، ابسطها لابسط صيغه ممكنه بهذا الشكل. ابدا بصيغه الميل m معطى y1 و x1 معطى، اعوض في هذه الصيغه. لو ما كان الام معطى عندي فقط نقطتين، استخدم هذه الصيغه لايجاد الام وارجع اعوض هنا مره ثانيه. اوجد، اضرب طرفين في وسطين، بعدين اضع الواي لحالها في طرف. اوكي، ناخذ طبعا امثله بعدين على الخاصيه الثانيه، الخاصيه الثالثه، ايجاد المعادلات او ايجاد الميل. We'll find some example. We'll continue first the properties. Slope property for distinct line of the same slope. This one I said before to you. If I have the same slope, okay, then the lines are parallel. If I have here, for example, y equals to mx plus, for example here, let's take it with number 3x plus 4, and the second line y equals to 3x minus 2. I have here the first one, m1 equals to 3 and m2 equals to 3. So m1 equals to m2, then two lines 1 and 2 are parallel. parallel معناتها متوازية، الخطوط تكون متوازية. Okay. Okay, now the second case, when the lines will be perpendicular. Perpendicular is the opposite of parallel, which is orthogonal to each other أو عمودية. Okay, perpendicular means that they are orthogonal to each other, like this, with the degree 90, okay, 90 degree. When it will be perpendiculars, the two lines, when the product of their slopes is -1. So if I have m1 multiplied by m2 equals to -1, then it will be perpendicular lines like this. Okay. For example, if I have y equals to 3x plus 1 and the second line is -3 minus not minus 3, minus third, for example, minus third is, I have to find the product is minus 1, okay, x minus 2. I don't care actually about the y-intercept. The most important thing here is the slope. So here, m1 equals to 3, and m2 equals to minus 1 over 3, okay? Then the multiplication between m1 and m2 equals to 3 multiplied by minus third. I can divide here 3 by 3. I have minus 1. So the line are perpendicular, okay? Perpendicular or orthogonal, okay? Now for examples, the question here, find the slope m and y-intercept for the line presented by this equation, okay? Here, just to know the concept of the slope or the definition of the slope and the y-intercept. The first thing, I have actually to write it in this form, y equals to mx plus b. A coefficient multiplied by x will be the slope, اللي هو الميل, and the constant term will be the y-intercept. So I just have to simplify. Here, I have the denominator, المقام, is actually one number. So I can distribute it on the numerator. Here, y equals to x plus 1 over 3. I can write it x over 3 plus 1 over 3. إذا كان مقام واحد لحدين في البسط أقدر إني أكتب الحد الأول على المقام زائد الحد الثاني على المقام. زي ما يكون هنا وحدنا المقامات وهنا فصلناها. Equals to, أقدر إني أكتب, I can write it like this. Third multiplied by x plus 1 over 3. So I write it here in the simplest form or in the general form, mx plus b. So here, m is 1 over 3 and b, which is the y-intercept, equals also 1 over 3. Okay, this is the answer. And it's actually a special case which I have equality between the slope and the y-intercept. This is not always the case. This is a special case. مش دائما يكون الميل يساوي المقطع الصادي. هذه حالة خاصة في هذا المثال. Okay, this is the answer. And this is the same thing that we said, complete coincidence. Coincidence اللي هي صدفة مصادفة أن كانت الواي انترسبت مساوية للميل. دائما تكون هذه الحالة. Now for the sketching the graph. Okay, we sketched actually a graph previously in the beginning of the definitions. Sketch a graph of the line. I don't have an equation of the line. I only have a point, minus 1 and 1, and a slope. Okay. To draw any line, I need 2 points. Okay. So first, I need 2 points. Okay. The first one is given, which is minus 1 and 1. Okay. This is the first one. The second one, I can actually have it from the slope. Okay. The slope here is a half. Okay. I said that the slope is the change in y divided by change in x. Okay. Before finding this, I will present this point in the graph. -1 in the x-axis is here, and 1 in the y-axis. So this is the point -1 and 1. Okay, this is the first one. -1 for the x and 1 for the y. Then the second point, I will move 1 unit. Okay, I will move 1 unit to the right. So x will be 0. 1 unit, x will be 0. Okay, then y will be here, should be actually 1/2. The slope given is 1/2. M, change in y, divided by change in x equals 1/2. So I have here to find the value of y. Okay, change in x is 1. I will not use this. Change in x is 1. So x will be here 0. How to find the y component? I will use this. So 2y equals to 1. Then y equals to 1/2. I use here the first property. Each change in y, 1 unit in x, will be the same change in y. I write it here y and find the value of y since I have the slope here. Okay, I have here that when I divide the value of y by 1 unit, it will be 1/2. So here y will be 1/2, which is 0.5. So here, exactly in this point, the y will be, okay, 0 and 0.5. This is the second point. Okay, these are the 2 points that I needed. This is the first one, and this is the second one. Okay, you can actually move more to find حتى توجد نقطة أبعد, more far point. ممكن هي تكتبي 2. y/2 equals 1/2, so y equals 1. Okay, but I choose here 1, so I have here y equals to 1/2. Then I draw a line. I just draw a line. ممكن أستخدم قانون الميل ونقطة. هو في الواقع نفس هذا القانون اللي أنا كتبته هنا. change in y and change in x. لاحظوا أن قانون الميل ونقطة يعطيني اللي هو معادلة الخط المستقيم. بعدين راح أرجع أستخدم معادلة الخط المستقيم لإيجاد نقطة ثانية. معناتها راح تكون خطوتين زيادة. ممكن تكون أسهل بس خطوات أكثر. فهنا ممكن أنا أوجد نقطة ثانية من غير ما أوجد معادلة الخط المستقيم. I can find actually another point without finding the equation of the line. Okay, so here I just have to draw a line connecting these 2 points like this. Okay, this is the line. Okay. Sorry here. كيف عندك محاضرة؟ المفروض هذه المحاضرة من 10 ل 12 صح؟ مستحيل تكون عندك محاضرتين بنفس الوقت. إذا كان عندك confliction تقدر تغير أساسا المحاضرة. Sorry here I think the point should be actually increasing. Okay. Okay. Here change in y, when y I have change in x, that will be change in y is -1. But here, sorry, it's not only y, it's -1 minus, not -1, it's 1. First one, which is 1, y -1. Okay, y -1. It will be the difference in x-axis and the difference in y-axis, y -1 and x -0, which is 1 minus 0. Okay, sorry, we have to correct this. Okay, here y -1, 2 multiplied by y -1 equals to 1, which is 2y equals 2. Here -2 equals 1, 2y equals 1, plus 2, which is 3, divided by 2, so the y component will be 3 over 2, 1.5. This line should be increasing since I have a positive slope. Okay, so here I have, erase this. Okay, so in x equal to 0, y is 1.5. This is 2, this is 1.5. Okay, this is the exact point. So I draw a line. ممكن تتأكدوا إذا كانت إجابتكم صح أو خطأ قدام نفس المعطيات. هنا المعطى عندي إن السلوب positive, so it should be increasing. ضروري يكون تزايدي. like that. هذا خط مستقيم. Okay. Again. افترض إن هذا خط مستقيم. Okay. ممكن أيضا also instead of all these things أقدر إني أوجد التقاطع مع المحور السيني. كيف أوجد التقاطع مع المحور السيني؟ إني أوجد معادلة الخط المستقيم وأساويها بالصفر. Okay. In the example here, they move 2 units to the right. Okay, 2 units from -1 to 1, 2 units. This is a unit and this is a unit. They are 2 units. Okay, when I move 2 units to the right, I have to move 1 unit to the top. Okay, so the point will be 1 and 2. Now find an equation. This is the most important application actually. Find an equation of the line passes through points. I have 2 points. Okay, this is x1, y1. Okay, and this is x2, y2. Find the equation of the line. So I have to find y equals to mx plus b. I need to find m. How to find m? Using the slope rule. Okay, I have first to find m, which is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Change in y divided by change in x. Okay, it will be, this is y2, which is 2 minus y1, 0, divided by x2, 1, minus x1, which is -1. So minus 1 equals 2 over 2. Yes, it's 1. Equals to 1. This is the slope. Okay, now I find m. So to find the equation, this equation, I use this formula, the same one, but I put here instead of y2 and x2, I put y and x. Y minus y1, x minus x1, or y minus y2, x minus x2. I choose only one point. So I have here m, I find it by 1 equals to y minus y1, which is 0, x minus x1, which is minus 1. So I have 1 equals to y over x plus 1. As we said, find an equation of the line عشان أوجد معادلة الخط المستقيم. هذا هو المطلوب. أوكي، هذا هو المطلوب. الخطوة الأولى أني أوجد الميل، والخطوة الثانية أني أوجد المعادلة باستخدام الميل. الفرق بين الخطوة 1 و2 أن هنا راح أوجد الأم، هذه مش معطى عندي، لكن كل هذه موجودة. الخطوة الثانية أنا أوجدت الأم من الخطوة الأولى، فهذه راح تكون موجودة. أوكي، تكون عندي y و x variables وهذه موجودة. So here I multiply either like this. So it will be y equals to x plus 1. This is the equation. Okay, the slope is 1 and the y-intercept is 1. Okay. Another example. Also here, find an equation of the line that passes through the point. This is the first point, and it's perpendicular. Perpendicular means it's orthogonal. Okay, perpendicular to the line y equals to 2x. So what's the given information here? I have a point. This is given. I have x1 and y1, which is 2 and 0. And I have an information about the slope. I have another line, which is y equals to 2x. And the required line, الخط المستقيم اللي أحتاج أوجده عمودي على هذا الخط المعطى. أيوة، المطلوب إيجاد معادلة الخط المستقيم. So if I said that y equals to m1 x plus b, this is the question. I put here m1 since I have another slope here. I have here y equals to m2 x, which is here, of course, plus 0. I don't have here y-intercept, which is 2x. So I have here m2 equals to 2. Since they are perpendicular, عمودي, then the property that I will use that m1 multiplied by m2 equals to minus 1. I have here m2, so m1 multiplied by 2 equals to minus 1, which is actually 2m equals to minus 1. So the slope is minus 1 over 2, minus half. Okay, I find here m1. This is m1. So I have here a slope and a point. So I can find the equation y equals to m1 m1x plus b. How can I use find it? m1 equals to y minus y1 divided by x minus x1, which is minus half equal to 1 y minus y1, which is 0 here, minus 0 divided by x minus 2. Okay, so here I have 2y equals to minus this minus multiplied by here x minus 2. Okay, so y equals to 1 over 2 minus multiplied by x plus 1, which is 2 divided by 2. Okay, this is all simplification. This is the final answer. Okay, this is the exact answer, which is minus 0.5 x plus 1 minus 0.5, which is a half multiplied by x plus 1. Okay. أعيد بشكل مختصر اللي عملناه في هذا المثال. The question here is find the equation of the line. Okay. Find the equation of the line. What's the given information? المعلومات المعطاة عندي إنه يكون عمودي على الخط y تساوي 2x is perpendicular to y equals to 2x. And also I have a point. So I have an information about the slope and a point. So I can find the slope using this information. Since it's perpendicular, بما أنه عمودي معناته أعرف أن حاصل الضرب للميل المطلوب في الميل المعطى يساوي -1. منها أقدر أوجد أن الميل يساوي -نص. حسابات. Okay, just calculation. Then I use this result and this point which is given to find this equation. Okay, I use this formula. استخدم هذه الصيغة لإيجاد معادلة الخط المستقيم وأعوض بالمعلومات المعطاة عندي. هذه M1 وهذه Y1 وهذه X1 وأعوض عشان أوجدها في هذه الصيغة اللي هي Y تساوي M1X plus B. هذا اللي عملناه في هذا المثال. Of course, if the given is parallel, I don't have to make all these. It will be the same slope. إذا كانت المعطى أنها متوازية معناتها راح أستخدم نفس الميل. الميول تكون متساوية لما تكون المستقيمات متوازية. أوكي؟ بس لما تكون عمودية راح أحتاج إلى عمليات بسيطة لإيجاد الميل لأن راح يكون حاصل ضرب الميلين مع بعض يساوي -1. فأقدر أوجد الميل الثاني. Now for the tangent line. The definition of the tangent line. If I have a circle or any curve and I make a line touch the circle or the curve, it will be touched on one point. Okay? This line I call it the tangent. هذا الخط اللي يمس المنحنى أو الدائرة في نقطة واحدة أسميه tangent. tangent أو الخط المماس. أوكي؟ tangent يمس الدائرة في نقطة واحدة فقط. Just one point would be here. Okay? Okay, the slope of a curve, okay, using the same definition of the tangent, we will find the definition of the slope of a curve. When I have a curve like this, how to find the slope at a certain point, which is P, I just draw a tangent line at this point and find the slope of this tangent. Okay? عشان أوجد المماس عند منحنى أقصد فيها إيجاد الميل للمماس. أوكي؟ عشان أوجد ميل عند المنحنى لازم أوجد ميل المماس عند هذا المنحنى. المقصود به ميل المماس عند المنحنى. Like this point, for example, if I have this curve, I want to find the slope at this point. How to find the slope at this point? I draw the tangent and find the slope of this tangent. Okay? And also for all other examples. Okay, for more illustration. If I have this grid لما يكون عندي هذه المربعات مرسوم فيها هذا المنحنى. Okay, I have this curve here. If I want to find the slope at this point, which is P, so I have to draw the tangent here. Not here first, the question here, estimate the slope, estimate. So you have just to estimate. أعطي مقدار تقديري للسلوب للكيرف. طبعا ما راح تجيكم أسئلة في الامتحان بهذا الشكل، بس هذا عشان تفهموا المعنى. I draw the tangent، أرسم المماس عند هذه النقطة، and I notice that each move 1 unit to the right, I move 1 unit to the top. Okay, if I move 2 units to the right, I move 2 units to the top. So the change in y is equal to the change in x. Okay, if change in x is 1, the change in y is 1. So the slope will be 1. If the change is 2, the change in y will be also 2. The slope will be 1. Okay, so here the slope is 1. ألاحظ هنا أن المماس كل تحرك وحدة إلى اليمين يعطيني تحرك وحدة إلى الأعلى، وحدتين إلى اليمين وحدتين إلى الأعلى. معناته الفرق في السينات يساوي الفرق في الصادات. معناته أن الميل هو حاصل قسمة هذا الفرق ويساوي الواحد. هو دائما الخط اللي يكون زاويته 45 في هذا الشكل دائما الميل يساوي الواحد. هذه معلومة ثابتة. Now for the rate of change. Rate of change اللي هو معدل التغير. Slope of a curve as a rate of change. The slope of a curve at a point P is, this is the definition of the rate of change, is the slope of a curve at a point P. If I asked you to find the rate of change, you have to find the slope of a curve at a point P. Meaning that you have to find the slope of the tangent line at the point P, okay, which measure the rates of change, which is increases or decreasing. يوجد لك معدل التغير. معدل التغير معناتها نسبة الفرق بين الصادات والسينات، أسميها معدل تغير. Okay, rate of change of the curve as it passes through P. Okay, rate of change هي عبارة عن قسمة فرق الصادات على فرق السينات. Okay, using the definition of the rate of change, we will define the derivative. Now to define the derivative. Derivative معناتها المشتقة or differentiation. Differentiation is the operation of finding the derivative. If I ask you to differentiate, so the question is find the derivative. Okay, what's the derivative? I denote the derivative of f by f dash or f prime of x like this. The meaning or the geometrical meaning is the slope formula. المعنى الهندسي للمشتقة هو الميل أو ميل المماس، وأرمز له بالرمز f dash أو f prime of x. There's another notation I can find the derivative like this. Denote notation here, just notation. الرموز ممكن أكتبها f dash of x or y dash like this, or I can actually write d by dx, which is differentiate with respect to the variable x of f, okay, of f of x. Also, I can write it dy by dx. All this notation means f dash or f prime, which is the derivative. Okay, I can write it at any notation of this. Okay, these notations that uses d by dx, I call it Leibniz formula or Leibniz notation. Okay, just for knowing. Here, for example, of course, we will know how to differentiate, but here, for example, the derivative of this function x to the power 3 is 3 multiplied by x squared. Okay, here I will notice the operation that is made to this function. I take 3 down in here multiplied by x and subtract 1 from the exponent, right? So here, x to the power 3, when I take it here, if y equals to x to the power 3, so y dash equals 2. I take 3 down like that, 3 multiplied by x. And for the power, I subtract 1, 3 minus 1, 3 minus 1, which is a 3x squared. So from here, I can put a rule when I have d by dx for x to the power r. R is any real number. It will be r multiplied by x and r to the power r minus 1. This is the rule of power. Okay. Now for more rules. Okay, this is the rule that we just discussed. This is the rule, which is rx. When it's x to the power r, I just multiply it by the power r x to the power r minus 1. Okay. Okay, if I have only a number, okay, the constant function, I call it the constant function, which has only a number. For example, here f of x equals to b. The derivative, if I differentiate, will be 0. The derivative of any constant number is a 0. مشتقة أي عدد ثابت هو الصفر دائما. مشتقة الدالة المرفوعة إلى قوة هو القوة مضروبة في الإكس وأنقص من القوة 1. Okay, if I have a line like we discussed previously, mx plus b, then the derivative f dash of x equals to, here x to the power 1. So when I subtract 1, it will be 0. X to the power 0 will be 1. So it will be only m. Then derivative of b will be 0. Okay, m plus 0 equals m. Okay, I put here 0. It's the derivative of b. Derivative of mx is m. Okay, any constant multiplied by a variable, the derivative is a constant. Okay, if the variable here with a power like x squared, so the derivative f dash of x equals to 2 multiplied by x to the power 2 minus 1 is 2x to the power 1, which is 2x. Okay, we use this rule. Okay, the same rule here, x to the power 3 that we just solved in the definition. F dash will be 3x to the power 3 minus 1. Yes, it will be 3x squared. Okay. This is the rule of power or the polynomial in general. Even if these powers are negative or they are rational, we use the same rule. For example, here, if I have these functions, for example, 1, this is a constant. Any constant is actually x to the power 0 multiplied by this constant. X to the power 0 is 1. The derivative of 1 is 0. Any constant number, its derivative will be 0. Here I have x. X is actually x to the power 1. The derivative of x is actually x to the power 1 minus 1, which is x to the power 0 equals 1. No, it's 1, not 0. Okay, x to the power minus 1 x to the power 0. أي عدد مرفوع إلى القوة صفر يساوي الواحد. أي عدد حتى لو كان مليون، أي عدد أس الصفر يساوي الواحد. Okay. Of course 2x its derivative will be x to the x squared, sorry, yes, 2x. 3x squared is 3 minus 1. 4x x to the power 4, sorry, will be 4x to the power 4 minus 1, which is 4x to the power, yes, x to the power 3, so, right. Also here I have another examples. If I have a constant number, what's the derivative of 7? Write in the chat. What the, yes, it will be 0. Derivative of any constant number will be 0. X to the power 3 is the same here, 3x squared. Okay, here, x to the power minus 2. X to the power minus 2, the derivative will be x. Sorry, before x, I have to get the power down like this, multiply by the power minus 2x to the power minus 2 minus 1. So it will be minus 2x to the power minus 3. Not here, notice here. Minus 2 minus 1. Okay, it will be minus 3. So the result will be minus 2, since this power with the negative sign, x will be in the denominator, which is x to the power 3, minus 2 divided by x to the power 3. This is the answer, okay? Yes, minus 2 divided by x to, or right here, x to the power 3 minus 3. Take x to the power minus 3 in the bottom here. Okay, A is any real number. No, not 1. It's a 0. A 0. The derivative of any constant is a 0. Okay, here, 3 multiplied by 10 to the power 6. I don't have any variables here. So it's only a number. What's the derivative? Yes, it's also a 0. I don't care about any combinations of numbers. Okay, it's only numbers without any variables. I don't have x here. ما عندي x هنا، مجرد رقم. أقدر إني أضربه هنا راح يكون 3 مليون. مشتقة 3 مليون أيضا صفر. Here to find the derivative of a quotient, I have here x in the denominator. لما يكون x موجود في المقام, I write it here as a power, then find the derivative. I take the derivative for this one, x to the power minus 1. So here the derivative, I find here the derivative in this area, x multiplied by minus 1 to the power minus 1 minus 1, which is equals to minus x to the power minus 2. y0 you mean here, it's a number, constant number. هنا عندي combination 3 ضرب 10 أس 6. أقدر إني أوجد الناتج ويكون عدد مشتقة العدد هو صفر. أي عدد مهما كان كبير مشتقته تساوي الصفر. كمل هنا. It will be minus 1. راح أنقل الإكس هنا في المقام. معناتها راح أخلي البسط تساوي الواحد. x to the power 2. Since I have here negative sign. Okay. So the derivative of 1 over x is minus 1 over x squared. Okay, minus 1 over x squared, or even I can just leave it like that. But for more simplification, I write it as a rational number or rational. Okay. Okay, now find the derivative of this expression or this function. we will use the same rules that we use. I can write this function before finding the derivative as x, since x is in the denominator, x to the power minus. Okay. لما يكون x موجودة في المقام أرفعها إلى البسط بأس سالب. Then I have here the square root, not square, the 7th root. The root is actually a rational number like that, 1/7. 1/7, I mean the 7th root of x, and the minus for the denominator, for the rational number. So using this expression, I will find f dash of x. Okay, so I multiply by the power 1 minus 1/7 multiplied by x to the power minus 1/7 minus 1. I have to find this value equals to minus 1/7 x to the power. Okay, I find the common factor here is 7 minus 1 minus 7. لما أوحد المقامات هنا المقام المشترك 7، ضربت المقام في 7 أضرب البسط في 7. Which is minus 1/7. Yes, it's minus 8/7. I can leave it like that. It's the correct answer, but I can make more simplification. Minus 1/7, since I have here a negative sign, so I can move x to the bottom here, or the denominator, and the 7th root like this, all to the power 8. I can put 8 inside or outside the root, like this. Okay, this is the simplest answer. I can leave it like that or write it in this expression. Okay, عشان أوجد المشتقة, to find the derivative for this formula, I have here a 7th square, الجذر السابع لx، لازم أعيد كتابته كمتغير مرفوع إلى قوة. أعيد كتابته عشان أستخدم الباور رول، أستخدم قاعدة مشتقة القوة. لما يكون x موجود في المقام معناته راح أكتب x على السطر هنا في بسط، بس مرفوع إلى إشارة سالبة، إشارة إلى أنه كان في المقام. أوكي، الجذر السابع راح يكون عبارة عن أس 1/7. 1/7 يعني الجذر السابع، الإشارة السالبة يعني x في المقام، معناته راح أشتق هذه الدالة باشتقاق هذه الصيغة. أستخدم الباور رول اللي هي x to the power r، أشتقها ب r x to the power r minus 1. هذه ال r minus 1 اللي هي سالب 7 ناقص 1، أوحد المقامات ويكون هذا الناتج. أقدر أوقف هنا وأقدر أبسط زيادة بهذا الشكل. أوكي، طبعا ضروري تعرفوا التبسيط لأبسط صيغة ممكنة، عشان ممكن يكون في المالتيبل تشويس مبسط لأبسط صيغة ممكنة. تعرفوا تقارنوا بين الصيغتين أنها نفس الشيء. أوكي، here in the slide اكتفى بهذه الصيغة، ما بسطها إلى الصيغة الجذرية، اكتفى بهذه الصيغة، بس ممكن أيضا يكون مبسطة في المالتيبل تشويس إلى أبسط صيغة ممكنة. The simplest form. Okay. Another example. Find the slope. Okay. Find the slope of the curve. I have here a curve y to equals x to the power 5 at a point. Okay. If I have a curve and I want to find the slope, how to find the slope? This is the question. To find the slope of a curve, I find the derivative. This is how to find the answer, the slope of a curve. You find the derivative f of x. Okay, this is the first step. They asked me to to find it at a certain point, which is x equal to -2. So the second step, after finding the derivative, I have to substitute in the derivative f dash by this point, which is -2, f dash of -2. Okay, this is the answer. So the first step, I have to find f dash or y dash. I have here f of x equals to x to the power 5. So f dash of x equals to 5x to the power 4. This is the derivative. This is the first step. The second step, they claim to find the slope at a certain point, which is x equals to -2. So I have to take the derivative that I found here, f dash, and substitute by -2. So I substitute in 5x to the power 4 by -2. Okay, here -2. Equals to, I find the power first, hit the priority for the power 5. The minus here to the power is positive. 4 to the power 2 to the power 4 is 16. 5 multiplied by 16, you can find it using calculator. I think it's 80. This is 30 and 5. Yes, it's 80. Yes, 80. So f dash, the slope, the question equals 80. Okay, that's the answer, final answer. So if the question was finding a slope for a curve, the slope meaning the derivative. The first step is to find the derivative, and if they give me a certain point, I substitute in the derivative by this point. So I find أول شيء أوجد المشتقة، بعدين أعوض في المشتقة بالنقطة المعطاة. Okay. Okay, if the question was find the equation of the tangent line. Okay, the tangent line, as we said, if I have m equals to the change in y, this is the general form of the line, right? Divided by the change in y, the rate of change in y over change on x, like this. Okay, this is the slope. This is the slope. And if I have the point x1, y1, actually a and f of a. Okay, I have here that x1 given by a. So y1 is f of a. Okay, so here I substitute by these values in here. So also I said here that this m is a slope, which is the derivative f dash of x, and in a certain point is f dash of a. I use this information, substitute here. So f dash of a will be equal to y, this y, minus y1, this is y1, equals to f of a, divided by x, this is x, minus x1, which is given by a, this is given by a. Then take multiplication here, scissor multiplication, it will give you this expression. Y minus f of a, this is y minus f of a, equals f of a multiplied by x minus a. Okay, so finding the equation of the tangent line, we will use the same line equation that we used before. We know how to find the slope is the derivative, then substitute in the derivative by the x component in the point. Then substitute. Here the slope, f dash of a, y minus f of a, x minus the given point a. Okay? Now we will take an application. راح نطبق الحين على هذه القاعدة. Find the slope. The question is find the slope of the tangent line, only the slope of the tangent line, to the graph y equals x squared at the point. I have here point, and I have a graph, and I have to find the slope of the tangent line at this point. Okay? Then, question number 2, this is number 1, find the slope. Number 2, write the corresponding equation of the tangent line, which is this one. First, I will find the slope. The first question, find the slope. How to find the slope? I find first f dash, then f dash of a. Okay, here f dash of x is this one, 2x. Okay, I just differentiate this expression, x squared, 2x, and f dash of, this is the point, this is a, and this is f of a. Okay, this is a, and this is f of a. So f dash of a means f dash of minus 0.4, which is 2 multiplied by minus 0.4, which is equal to minus 0.16. 2 multiplied by 2, sorry, 0.8. 0.8. Okay, 2 multiplied by 4 is 8 with the negative sign. This is the slope. Okay, I just find the slope. Then I will find the equation of the tangent line. I said that the tangent or any line is m equals to y minus y1 divided by x minus x1. I have here the slope. I find the slope here, minus 0.8 equals to y minus y1 is given here by 0.16. 0.16 divided by x minus x1 is given by minus 0.4. Minus 0.4. Okay, I just make a calculation. I just calculate and simplify to find y equals to mx plus b. So I just here multiply, scissor multiplication, y minus 0.16 minus here equals to minus 0.8 multiplied by x plus 0.4 will be y. I will leave that here, equals to minus 0.8 multiplied by x. I just here distribute the coefficient or the factor, plus here 0.8 multiplied by 0.4. It will be minus 8 ضرب 4 0.24 or not 24, 32. Then the final step is y equals to minus 0.8x minus 0.32 plus 0.16 will be minus 0.8x here minus 0.16, right? Minus 0.16. This is the simplest answer. 32. This is the simplest answer. So the equation of the tangent line will be this equation. Okay. Here minus and one, the same answer. Okay, I think we don't have a time for another example. Okay, we will complete in the next lecture. أيوة إن شاء الله راح يكون موجود. يكون في تسجيلين مع بعض أو منفصلين عن بعض.